some time ago. Life changed in that time. So, about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before Christmas, as I said, we were told of Peter's diagnosis. And I thought, why now? Why at Christmas? But God spoke to my heart, and he said, because it is Christmas. Because now is the time to remember the story of Christmas. Remember the music. Remember what's on your heart. Music has always been a huge part of my life. As a young child, I played in a band. I played in a stage band. Sang in the choir, sang in church. Have even sung here. Lately, because my voice is gone, I have become a listener of music. Doesn't matter what kind, all kinds, but my favorite music of all. And what has always brought me the most peace is Christmas music. You know, with Christmas music, we can learn the difference between the Christmas story and the story of Christmas. The Christmas story can be told simply like this. It came upon a midnight clear, away in a manger in a little town of Bethlehem, while shepherds watched their flocks on a silent night, oh holy night, to a maid engaged to Joseph, he is born. Hark, the herald angels sing, good Christians, friends, rejoice, for angels we have heard on high, joy to the world, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ is born. O come, all ye faithful, we three kings, the little drummer boy, and all who will hear. Go tell it on the mountain, there's a song in the air. We sing now of Christmas. What child is this who laid to rest in Mary's arm is sleeping? And that is the Christmas story, as told by the titles of our favorite hymns. My favorite hymn has always been What Child Is This? We've heard Paul sing it, and we've heard Diane sing it. And to me, it tells us the story of Christmas. Too often, we sing the songs and hymns, and we sing it to the melodies, and we do not listen or hear the words or the meaning of such words. Listen now to the words and my thoughts on what child is this? What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch is keeping? This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. Yes, this is Christ the King, God's gift of love for us, who grew to a man whose very existence would change the world. Think about who this man was. He had no servants, yet they called him master. He had no degree, yet they called him teacher. He had no medicines, yet they called him healer. This was the Son of Mary. The song continues, and we learn more about Jesus and the true story of Christmas. Why lies he in such mean estate, where oxen and ass are feeding? Good Christians fear, for sinners hear, the silent word is pleading. Nails, spears shall pierce him through, the cross be borne for me and you. Hail, hail, the Word made flesh, the babe, the Son of Mary. This, to me, truly is the story of Christmas. For God so loved his world that he gave his only begotten Son. Out of his grace, a child was born that would save us all. Think about the power of Jesus. He had no army, yet kings feared him. He won no military battles, yet he conquered the world. He committed no crime, yet they crucified him. He was buried in a tomb, yet he rose and lives today. And this was the babe, the Son of Mary. As seen in our last verse, so bring him incense, gold, and myrrh. Come peasant kings to own him. The King of Kings salvation brings. Let loving hearts enthrone him. Raise, raise your song on high. The Virgin sings her lullaby. Joy, joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son of Mary. With that promise of salvation comes a responsibility. We must, as Christians, share the good word. Without such a story, all is lost. We must share the story of Christmas so that Christmas will be known to all. I was reminded recently of a sermon that a very good friend of mine preached years ago. He said, being a disciple of Christ is like a sourdough starter. And for those of you who bake, you'll understand this. But if you've ever made sourdough, you know that you have to do the following. First of all, sourdough is a lot of work, as is being a good disciple. Secondly, you have to feed it, be it through Bible studies, reading the Bible, your ministries, or that, but you need to feed your Christianity in order for it to grow. But mostly, you have to give it away. Because if you don't, if you've ever had a sourdough starter and you don't give it away, it will implode on itself. Peter and I recently took a trip to Conway, New Hampshire. We went there to pick up some things that our church was closing and had offered to give us. Two of those items were the Bible stand that you see now on our altar and this beautiful altar Bible. While we were there, we met a woman by the name of Nancy. She was in her late 60s, early 70s, and she graciously showed us around this beautiful church building. And she was obviously very proud of what they had accomplished there. As we talked, we learned that she had been a member of this Conway United Methodist Church her entire life. Born there, brought up there, married there, buried her husband there, and now here she was, the very last person in this church. And her charge was to give it away. The church had been closed by the conference, not because they didn't have enough money to stay open, but because their average attendance was less than 20 each Sunday. She no longer had a church to go to, and she wasn't sure what she was going to do. I felt that maybe, perhaps, they hadn't given it away to all who would listen. It wasn't until we got home and looked at the Bible that we realized this Bible had been donated by Nancy's parents to the church in North Conway. And there's a lesson from both the song, from the sourdough bread, and from the church in North Conway. We must raise our voices on high. We must share the story of Christmas, the story of love, the story of grace, but most of all, salvation. If each of us now will think of one person in your life. Be it a friend, a family member, a stranger you have met, and take it upon yourself in this new year to mentor that person and share with them the story of Christ. The story that I would ask you now to sing and raise on high and proclaim to all that will hear. Christ was born this week, and the cross be borne for me and you. Our responsive hymn this morning is There's a Song in the Air.